Boston was, without Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, so this is not their best version of their team, but they're still damn good. So it's a hell of a win in a tough environment, and we had some guys out too. And again, I love our depth. I think we're built to withstand absences. We get a lot of guys who can come in and play big minutes for us and help us win games like these. So should obviously a good win for us.
So the Warriors have now opened 5-0 on the road for just the second time in franchise history. The other time they did this, that's the year they went on to win an NBA record 73 games. But Sinead, that team looked a whole lot different than this one. But maybe, is there a new Splash relative in town?
We're going to have to find a name for him, but we talked about this game as a test for both teams, but especially Golden State, to really see what this gut check could potentially be. And they absolutely handled this test. And what I love about this, y'all, is how they handled the dagger, the crunch time. So first, we're going to figure out a name for Steph and Buddy Hield. But as I break down the dagger, because this is a team that is number one in the NBA in bench points, you'll see exactly why, especially in clutch time. So first, I want to show you this. It's time and score. It's 108-104, 2-possession game, 1 minute left. So every possession matters. As this play progresses, first, I want to show you the two guys. One, it's Steph Curry handling the ball. Then it's Buddy Hield off the right wing. So what Steph is doing right here is he's probing. He wants to force a switch, and he gets it. What is a switch right here? It's him versus Al Horford. Yep, he knows he can blow by him. So as Steph attacks, watch, Al Horford gets beat. This is where we enter the danger zone. How many players are watching? 1, 2, 3 Boston Celtics, none more costly than one Jason Tatum, who is caught asleep. He is sleeping, watching Steph Curry, and this is costly because here, look at Buddy Hield. What he's going to do is, typically when you have guards and you're moving on the perimeter, when I move, you move. Just like that, you're attached on a string. So what he will do is he's going to drift over as Steph attacks towards him to the right corner, and look how much space is available for him to operate. This man is a 51% three-point shooter, and guess what? That's all they wrote. There's the drift. Jason Tatum caught asleep. Easy bucket. Tough contest by Derek White, but nonetheless, it did not matter. And that was just 3 points out of 25. The Golden State Warriors, they scored 25 points in clutch time, their most in a regulation game in the Steve Kerr era. So that is truly, I know we hear it a lot, but by definition, that is strength in numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we talked, as you said, about this being a litmus test game. And the question heading into this one in NBA Countdown Park was, can they hang? Can the Golden State Warriors hang? They certainly did that. What did you learn about this team?
Well, what I took away from last night was, one, I was right. That's the most important thing ever, right? I was right. I was the only one that picked the Golden State Warriors.
You're perfect.
And damn it, they went out there and did.
Well done. There you go.
By Steph Curry. Okay, his defense was so refreshing. I'm telling you, watching the Golden State Warriors, the way that they pick up 94 feet, they get physical, communicating on the switches, from Moses Moody to Andrew Wiggins to Jonathan Kuminga, they are ferocious defensively. And look, they did an outstanding job last night without Podziemski.
Yep.
I mean, this team is real. And look, I would not be surprised if this team make it to the Western Conference Finals. I would not be surprised at all.
So here's what's so fascinating about this. Steve Kerr is using an Olympic-style game plan because the way the Americans play in the Olympics, they lean into the depth. They will do mass substitutions, and the reason they do that is so that their players can pour out energy on the defensive end. Steve Kerr is using 12 or 13 guys a night. He's averaging 7 different guys, averaging 12 to 20 minutes. They pour it out on the defensive end. They put on 27 double teams in this game. That requires a lot of activity level. So the guys go out there, they crush it on defense. And look, Steve Kerr said, Jaylen Brown wasn't here, Porzingis wasn't here. It's easier to double when you don't have those two options. It's easier to go at the basket when you don't have Porzingis. But it's actually Steve Kerr taking his Olympic experience, applying it to this team, and it's working.
Well, this isn't just about the Celtics taking a hit. It's about their fans witnessing the bankruptcy of their expectations as the Golden State Warriors showcase why they're the team to beat. And as Kendrick Perkins would likely point out, this game showed who's truly in charge. Let's dive into why the Warriors are now reigning over the Celtics and what this says about their challenge to the Cavaliers' undefeated 8-0 streak. The fans of the Boston Celtics have long prided themselves on loyalty and high expectations. But on this night, in a clash that should have screamed revenge, they were left seeing their dreams collapse As Brian Windhorst would say, this was no ordinary loss, it was a breakdown. The Warriors dismantled those expectations with relentless strategy and depth, leaving fans disillusioned. With a shooting percentage of just 35.1% from the field and a 27% success rate from beyond the arc, the Celtics' offensive struggles were glaringly clear. This was no ordinary loss, it's a failure to rise, a setback too clear to ignore. And yet, this wasn't just about broken hopes, it was a brutal reminder of the Warriors' rise. Let's talk about their dominance over the Celtics and what they're bringing to the court this season. Golden State is no longer just a team led by stars. Steve Kerr has crafted a unit so deep that it's reshaped what it means to be a champion in today's NBA. Brian Windhorst himself noted the unusual threat the Warriors now pose to any streak, particularly Cleveland's 8-0 record. With players like Buddy Hield averaging 21.9 points per game at a staggering 50% from three-point range on 9.4 attempts per game, the Warriors have set themselves apart. They're not just built to win, they're built to dominate. But don't let the roster's depth fool you. The crown jewel of this team remains Steph Curry. His performance was on another level, establishing his dominance once again. Steph Curry was simply unstoppable. Returning after missing 3 games, Curry put up 27 points, complemented by 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. His performance wasn't just about points, it was about leadership. With Curry shooting 43.2% from the field and moving to 30th on the NBA's all-time scoring list, his presence sets the tone for the entire team. Curry's game didn't just bring scoring, it brought balance, precision, and confidence. He's not just a player, he's the very heartbeat of the Warriors dynasty, proving again why he's playing at a level far beyond any ordinary star. But the magic didn't stop at Curry. The Warriors' defense is becoming legendary in its own right, setting the tone for every team brave enough to challenge them. The Warriors didn't just outscore Boston, they suffocated them. Steve Kerr's defensive game plan, honed from his Olympic experience, has Golden State's opponents in a vice grip. As Kendrick Perkins might point out, this defense is championship level. The Celtics held to 35.1% shooting with only 10 three-pointers out of 37 attempts. Boston was forced into 10 turnovers in the first half alone, with Tatum struggling to break through, shooting 2 for 7 and committing 4 turnovers. The Warriors blitzed him on ball screens, shutting down his usual dominance. The way Golden State shifted between defensive formations, constantly pressing, made the Celtics look lost. And speaking of unstoppable forces, let's not forget the surprise power moves from Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson, giving the Warriors' offensive arsenal even more unpredictability. 2 words: Buddy Hield. With a historic start, Hield has outgunned even Curry in three-point accuracy, sinking 50% of his shots from the arc. Meanwhile, Kyle Anderson stepped up, hitting 3 consecutive three-pointers in the second quarter. These unexpected contributions became a nightmare for the Celtics' defense. When Boston focused on Curry, it left Hield and Anderson open, a fatal mistake for any defense facing Golden State. With Hield currently leading the Warriors in scoring at 21.9 points per game, the team's firepower is unprecedented. But what about the team's veteran backbone? For every rising star, there's a seasoned warrior, and for the Warriors, that's Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney has been a pivotal part of Golden State's defensive structure, contributing key rebounds and setting strong screens. However, the pace and intensity of the NBA are relentless. At 28, with years of wear and tear from hard-fought games, there's concern that Looney may struggle to keep up as the season progresses. His current stats are solid, averaging 6.9 rebounds per game and 1.4 assists, but the question remains, will he have the stamina to be the defensive answer the Warriors need as they aim for a deep playoff run? But Steve Kerr's rotation strategy has provided solutions for this concern. Let's look at how his experimental approach has breathed new life into the Warriors roster. Steve Kerr's Olympic-inspired rotations have turned his bench into a dynamic force, allowing each player to perform in short, intense bursts. Neemias Queta, in particular, has become a rising star in his second career start, scoring 14 points, grabbing 8 rebounds, including 5 offensive, and posting a 13. Kerr's approach has allowed Queta and others to step up and shine, making the Warriors bench a powerful and unpredictable force. This adaptability could be the Warriors' secret weapon in their pursuit of another championship. And with that, we've seen how each piece of this Warriors team is setting them up to be the kings of the court once again. So what does this mean for the rest of the league? The Warriors aren't just contenders, they're setting the new standard. Kendrick Perkins might tell us it's time to admit the Celtics just can't keep up. And after witnessing the Warriors' depth, defensive tactics, and Curry's legendary form, it's hard to disagree. The Boston faithful may be licking their wounds, but for the Warriors, this is just the beginning.